Alrighty then. Alrighty then, welcome everybody. We are on for the Xbox Developer Direct. Glad to be here with you today. This is going to be a good time. So, looks like for the Xbox Developer Direct, we have a few things to look forward to. We have so far announced for sure, we know we're going to get an update on Doom, The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, number 2, from Compulsion Games, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. That's the one I don't know. I don't really know much about that one. And then finally, a mystery game, a surprise that will be revealed today as well. And the rumors in the industry have suggested that it will be a legendary Japanese franchise with decades of history. So I'm very curious to see what's going to be announced there. We shall see. But I'm curious, you know, what are you looking forward to the most? I personally am excited about Doom the Dark Ages. I'm definitely going to be playing that day one, since it's already coming out on, I think it's everything, right? It's coming out on Xbox, it's coming out on PlayStation, PC. So it'll be a good time. 20 seconds away, LFG. The anticipation is real. Gosh, I feel like it's the new year. Let's see what you got for us, Xbox. Day one Game Pass, okay. Naturally. Cross saves. So Xbox and PC. They didn't mention anything about PlayStation, by the way. But Doom is coming to PlayStation. We already know that. I'm glad they're not doing that because this is an Xbox Direct. It needs to be about Xbox. Here. We need to resize everything. There we go, that's better. Marker Sweeks. I'm keeping subtitles on if that's okay. I I don't know if I want subtitles, but we'll keep it on there. Actually, here, I'm cutting off subtitles. Yeah. There we go. No more subtitles. Besides the ones that aren't in English.
今日は皆様にジム忍者が長く大切にしてきたアクションシリーズの新情報を発表できる機会をいただけてとても嬉しく思います。早速ですがこちらをご覧ください。
Okay.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through
Which
the
one's
efforts of a
this?
sole ninja. However, the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos to this day.
Infiltrated the facility. Commencing mission.
Platinum Games. So I guess we're getting more than just those 4 games that were leaked. Because this isn't any one of the studios that was mentioned earlier, like for Doom, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, or South of Midnight, or The Surprise. I don't think this is The Surprise, but it's not any one of those 4. Lots of hack and slash.
This is it. Ryu Hayabusa.
Whatever your clan is plotting, it ends here.
All I know is it's got to compete with Stellar Blade, so we got to see some butt cheeks. We got to see some butt cheeks if it's going to be competing with Stellar Blade. Ninja Gaiden 4. I have heard about that one. Combat looks pretty fun.
10年以上大変お待たせしました。最強の忍者となり容赦なく襲い来る敵に挑むハイスピードアクション忍者ガイデンのナンバリング最新作として忍者ガイデン4を発表させていただきました。本作はプラチナゲームズさんとの協業で開発を進めています。プラチナゲームズさんのアクションゲームというジャンルにおける実績は
Here, I think I'm gonna change something. I'm gonna move
アクションタイトルを生み出してこられました。
my face up here so you can see the subtitles.
10年以上の時を超えて新たに皆様にお届けするにあたり、より多くの方に新鮮な気持ちでプレイしていただけるよう。I don't
know about you, but the subtitles will help me understand what's going on a little bit.
先ほどご覧いただいた映像の中で竜はやぶさも登場しておりましたが、彼は今回も物語に密接に関わってきます。なぜヤクモと戦うことになったのか、竜はやぶさが戦う目的は何なのか。
So is this the surprise that they were talking about? This might be the surprise that they were talking about, because this is a Ninja Gaiden is a legendary Japanese IP. It might be what they were talking about.
この雨は黒竜がまだ生きている証であり、雨が止まない限り東京に安寧は訪れません。
This has got to be the surprise, yeah. I wasn't expecting it first. I thought that they were going to wait to the end.
はやぶさと対をなすカラス一門に所属するヤクモが首都東京で黒竜を倒し、この世界を晴らすため戦いに身を投じます。
これまで忍者ガイデンシリーズで描かれてきたダークでハードな世界観は継承し、
そこにさらに危機を感じさせる要素として呪いやより混沌とした景観のデザインを取り入れています。ステージプレイ中に街が呪いの影響を受け、ビルは崩れ、道は歪み、ヤクモをピンチに陥れることでしょう。舞台となる東京はとある出来事によって街全体が崩壊し、魔族やヤクモと敵対する勢力がひしめき合う状態になっており、環境全体がプレイヤーに牙を向くように感じられるはずです。
I don't know. I still have to play through Stellar Blade. If I'm playing a hack and slash, I'm gonna play Stellar Blade first because of the butt cheeks and the curves of the protagonist, of the female protagonist.
ダイナミックで爽快なシチュエーションを多く追加しました。これら以外にも様々なシチュエーションやチャレンジ、
The movement does look nice. It looks very fluid.
が進むごとに上がっていくテンションにも驚いていただけると思います。
新しい主人公のヤクモは竜ハヤブサに次ぐ新たな町人です。彼にはまだ若さも残っていますが、カラス一門を背負う天才忍者でもあり、忍者外伝シリーズにおける忍者の頂点、竜と肩を並べる次世代の町人たり得る人物としてデザインしています。そんなヤクモの前に立ちふさがるのは、荒れ果てた東京の治安維持組織であり、黒竜の封印を守る竜神島や現世に蔓延する人ならざる者妖魔、そしてもちろんシリーズおなじみの魔人も登場します。また現時点では公開していませんが、新たなキャラクターやシリーズファンの方に喜んでいただける人物も登場しますので、続報にご期待ください。
従来のシリーズからバトルスピードをさらに加速させ、目にも止まらぬスピードで敵との攻防を繰り広げることができます。さらにヤクモが使える新要素、結節忍術ヌエの型を駆使したダイナミックな攻撃によって、これまでから大きく進化した1対他の戦闘を可能にしました。ヌエの型ではこれまでの忍者外伝にはない広範囲かつ一撃必殺の攻撃となっており、多勢に無勢の状態が長く続く戦況を一気に覆すことができます。もちろん1対1の戦闘におけるひりつきも健在です。プレイヤー同様、敵もガードや回避をしてくるため、緊張感のあるフェアな戦闘を味わうことができます。敵の動きをしっかりと捉えながら、一瞬の隙を逃さずに攻撃を仕掛けていくことが重要です。ヌエの型によって
Second ago, it looked like he was kind of like pole vaulting, like in Black Myth Wukong. That's pretty cool. I wonder if there's gonna be like multiple stances
アクションに関しては
that you can choose
手触
from.
り、バランス調整など細部にわたり日々議論させていただき、会社の垣根を越えた密なやり取りをさせていただいています。本作の主人公であるヤクモは竜とは一味違うアクションを有していますが、その中でもしっかりと忍者外伝らしさを感じていただけると思います。例えばカラス、ヌエ、2つの型があるという点がヤクモの大きな特徴ですが、
Combat styles.
多彩な性能のアクションを用いて
Raven style
敵や
and
状況ごとに使い分け
New
る
Way
攻略の
style.
深みや滅却、絶技などを絡め
So
た
that's what I was talking about, the different stances compared to
もちろんヤクモ
the
にも
three
健在です
stances that you have in
ヤクモ
Black
と
Myth
竜ハヤ
Wukong.
ブサはそれぞれがかなり異なる個性的な遊び心地になっていますので、さまざまな戦闘バリエーションを楽しむことができるようになっています。ヤクモ、そして竜ハヤブサの双方で飛燕、伊豆名落としなどシリーズおなじみのアクショ
The
ンも
Flying Swallow.
新アクションを織り交ぜた
It's a
新しい
special
忍者外
ability.
伝にご期待ください。忍者外伝シリーズに色濃く残っている歯ごたえやグレードの高いアクション体験の継承、さらに我々プラチナゲームズの特徴であるスピーディーなアクションやダイナミックな演出も取り入れ、進化した正当続編を作り上げるべく総力を挙げて開発を進めております。
容赦ない敵とのいかなる攻防にもフェアに戦える手触りをヤクモでも目指しています。皆様に進化した忍者外伝を触っていただける日を楽しみにしています。
シリ
Okay.
ーズファンはもちろんのこと、 忍者ガイデンを初めてプレイする方でも存分に楽しめる作品になっておりますので。
So they're appealing to fans of the series and newcomers. So I imagine it's probably not going to be your most hardcore, difficult experience if they're trying to attract new players. It doesn't look like something like a Souls-like that's going to be seriously difficult unless there's different difficulty levels that you can select. Okay, looks okay. Fall 2025. Day 1 on Game Pass. One more thing. One more thing that they're excited to announce. Oh, okay. Is something else they're working on? That looks cool.
My path leads through the land of the dead.
And thus the sun sets on the Dragon Ninja bloodline.
Genshin. Go back to
See, whatever this is looks a little bit more interesting.
We are cruel and arduous. Our time has come.
Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. So it's a remake? Putting a fresh coat of paint on Ninja Gaiden 2.
今作忍者ガイデン2ブラックで
Okay.
はオリジナル版の表現に立ち戻り、アンリアルエンジン5を用いてグラフィックを大幅に刷新、忍者ガイデン2の完全版として開発いたしました。美麗なグラフィックでお楽しみいただけるのはもちろん、リュウハヤブサに加え、アヤネ、モミジ、レイチェルもプレイブルキャラクターとして登場します。そして本作は本日コンソール、PC、そして Xbox ゲームパスでこの後すぐに発売となります。
There we go. Oh, is that?
忍者ガイデンシリーズを長年応援いただいている皆様はもちろん
Oh, cool. Shadow drop. It is immediately available. That's pretty cool.
作をお楽しみください。
Alright.
今年はチーム忍者創立30周年の節目であり、本日
Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is out. They shadow dropped it today while we're waiting on Ninja Gaiden 4. That's pretty cool. See, that one actually looked more interesting to me. But, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. Team Ninja and Platinum Games. Good job. So that was the surprise. Compulsion Games. Now we're on to Compulsion is working on South of Midnight.
Games here in Montreal, Canada. At our studio, we care about world building, and we treat the setting almost like a character of its own. From the magical noir of contrast to the alternate history of We Happy Few, we draw inspiration from the landscapes to shape mood, drama, and intrigue. For South of Midnight, our
very
third-person
moody
action-adventure game, the story and characters bring a folkloric Deep South to life. This gave us a chance to explore Southern Gothic themes with a dark fantasy twist. So while our protagonist Hazel is at the forefront of our story, it's the macabre elements and larger-than-life creatures that will leave a mark on her journey and growth.
It is really picking up out there. Did you pack everything? Mama, this ain't my first hurricane. I know what to do. As long as you didn't forget the flashlight.
This ain't my first rodeo.
5 minutes. Let's go.
We wouldn't be rushed if you didn't.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time at the shelter.
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
So the setting for this game is the Deep South.
I might need some help. While you're out helping everybody else.
Hazel.
Oh my god. Well, their house got blown away. Okay.
Hazel may start her journey as a typical 19-year-old, but disastrous events will push her into a darkly magical world where she'll learn who she really is and how to tap into weaving, an ancient magical power that redefines her trajectory in life.
The land itself chooses Hazel as a weaver.
I wonder where she got those
So one can
powers.
see beyond the surface and tap into a deeper reality, the grand tapestry. Weavers can see the fabric binding our worlds, connecting people, nature, and echoes of the past.
Keep those hands to yourself.
Hazel can perceive both the mystical strands and stigmas in the world. Through her newfound power, she reweaves these stigmas and mends the afflicted creatures she encounters.
As Hazel discovers her power, the world gradually shifts into the surreal, revealing that creatures from the old folktales actually exist.
You up here, my salvation.
Among them is good old Catfish, the storyteller who becomes both the guide and companion to Hazel across the game.
It ain't every day I hear about a new weaver such as yourself. Would you kindly do your weaver thing and help me down?
Meeting Catfish marks the true beginning of Hazel's journey. All of Hazel's arsenal and powers are designed around textile crafting and traditional spinning wheels. Her weapons include a spindle, 2 weaving hooks, and a distaff.
Uh-oh. Getting a little choppy.
Her magic abilities manifest with supernatural lace-like patterns, blending the traditional craft with mystical elements. Hazel engages with the world through a variety of
Stream is
movement abilities.
very choppy.
Those abilities also help Hazel progress on a journey.
As her journey unfolds, Hazel will master new weaving abilities, using them to traverse the world, conjure objects, and confront adversaries.
Combat is about understanding and adapting to different enemy archetypes known as Aints, the manifestations of corruption Hazel encounters.
These hates trap Hazel in combat until she unravels them, destroying them in the process.
Each Aint has its own unique moveset, strengths, and weaknesses that you'll need to learn and adapt to. For example, the slug burrows on the ground and unleashes devastating strikes from afar, while the Ravager closes the distance with chilling speed. Hazel can counter these threats with agile melee abilities to execute powerful combos, jump attacks, and charge attacks. But close combat is risky and can backfire because Aints have powerful defensive abilities. Mastering your magic.
So I gotta admit, like, the story sounds kinda interesting, but
push, pull, and weave are some of the spells at your disposal.
the combat
A tactical
looks a little boring.
timing.
The combat kind of reminds me of like Hogwarts Legacy, and Hogwarts Legacy, if you ever played that, the combat there was very
Press the advantage with
surface level. You know, push, pull, weave. Timing is everything, but it's still really easy.
especially when facing multiple types of opponents at the same time. Once near death, enemies can be unraveled, breaking their core and setting them free of their corruption.
It looks almost exactly like Hogwarts Legacy from a standpoint, from a combat standpoint.
To play your combos right, you can enhance Hazel's combat readiness and keep on chaining her abilities. As Hazel progresses in the game, she unlocks new moves and improved abilities, and you'll have to decide which areas to prioritize.
Yeah.
The upgrades will change how you approach combat, like enhancing area of effect attacks, or refining push and pull skills to improve precision and make them feel more rewarding.
Yeah.
The combat system is fast.
I don't know if that one's for me, if this one's for me, but it might be for some people. The story looks interesting. So far, I think so far I've been more interested in actually the Ninja Gaiden 2 remake.
For the low price of $1.
It's out today.
Search for her mother. You'll explore multiple regions, each ruled by a mythical creature.
This setting I like though. This setting's more, it's prettier in my opinion, and I would enjoy that more. But
Once human or animal,
combat
transformed by tragedy.
is what keeps me coming back to a game.
As a weaver, Hazel heals these creatures by collecting fragments of haunted memories.
This just looks a little boring for me.
Reveal each creature's past. Hazel must experience these echoes before she can mend them.
What kind of person would do that to someone?
We design each region to reflect the creature that's been doomed to wander it.
But hey, free on Game Pass. It's worth a shot, right? If you have an Xbox, you got Game Pass. Worth a shot.
Lead to direct combat. Hazel will need to face mythical creatures in epic confrontation before she can heal them. Our boss encounters and gameplay sequences also reflects the uniqueness of each creature, with distinct mechanics that center around a specific thematic. These encounters feature multiple phases that ramp up in complexity. As the encounters progress, the musical theme builds up, cranking the tension alongside the fight. Whether it's Two-Toed Tom or hugging Molly, each of these larger-than-life creatures is inspired by Southern folklore and lead to climax.
Interesting. I like how games they crescendo the music whenever it's an intense scene.
You'll travel through a tapestry of Southern-inspired landscapes, from abysmal swamps to flooded farmlands to the Appalachian peaks. In our magical South, decaying buildings reclaimed by nature stand moments away from a hungry Rugal. And as Hazel delves deeper, reality bends ever more toward the fantastical.
The history, landscape, and folklore of the American Deep South fill our world, and our team has infused the game with thoughtful details and environmental storytelling, like our bottle trees and haint blue porches, which are said to ward off evil spirits. The way to the past emerges as central
It's
themes,
pretty.
as you can see
The setting's really cool.
buildings and businesses struggling
Yeah,
to
I just don't know if it would keep me hooked.
As you explore, you'll meet locals who stayed behind even in
I don't know if the story is compelling enough for me to stay hooked, and I don't know if the combat would be enough for me to stay hooked.
Artistically, we're staying
But
true to our moody,
worth a
compulsive
shot,
signature style.
you know. You don't know
This
until
time,
you
we're
know.
using a handcrafted approach inspired by stop-motion animation.
It's the nice thing about Game Pass, it's
Bring a
free.
distinct personality and tone into every prop and character. Because this folklore is open to visual interpretation, we embrace the freedom to reimagine these creatures and their stories, to adapt how they look, and to craft our own version of a fantastical Deep South.
At Compulsion Games, we love to craft around central themes. We are lucky to have talent across all our disciplines that collaborate to give South of Midnight such a unique personality. We
Oh,
hope you
what the?
enjoyed this deep dive into
That guy's
South of
having a good time.
We're thrilled to announce that the game will launch on April 8th, and pre-orders are now available on Xbox and Steam.
Cool, about 2.5 months. Interesting. Sandfall. Now this is Clair Obscur, South of Midnight, turn-based RPG. Sorry, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the name, if I didn't say that.
Everyone, we are Sunfall Interactive, and welcome to our manor. We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refreshed the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
This is one I have no idea about this one. I don't know anything about it.
Files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first
Just what I read this morning.
turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element and a cinematic battle camera system. Things really clicked when we tested the first version of those features. We felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers, and when he described the project, I quit my job the following week and joined the team without hesitation. Because I believe that in video games, success always starts with a strong creative vision. And we had that, defined by 3 core elements. A story with great emotional depth, gameplay that innovates on the classics we love, and a world that is completely original, beautiful, and immersive. We founded Central Interactive on these tenets. A group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something great.
So Central Interactive is new?
This too is your legacy.
Let's see.
Core to every great RPG is a compelling story. And Guillaume and I spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours. And that started with the hook.
2020, so they've been working on this
67
as long as they've been around.
A slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year, that number ticks down.
Very small team.
Everyone dies younger and younger. Expeditions depart to kill the paintress, determined to fight until their final breath, but none have ever returned. Our story follows Expedition 33.
It's interesting. Very creative setting.
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other. And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature, with adult characters who feel like real people with real experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
The heart of the story is about overcoming an existential threat while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate? What duty do we owe to each other or to ourselves? These questions are deeply personal to me, and they permeate the story behind the story.
Know that Lumiere fights with you. Tomorrow comes Expedition 33.
The characters all have their own motivations and perspectives. Gustave and Lune are deeply invested in the expedition, even if they fight all the time. To them, the mission is tied not only to their family, it's central to their identity and purpose.
Protocol doesn't cover every contingency. You know that.
Contrast that with Ciel, whose darkest days have already happened.
What are the stars whispering to you? Actually, I'm the one whispering to them. It's something my dad and I used to do.
And Maëlle, who cares more about really living her life, not just living longer.
Gustav, are you real?
It's not all dark, though. Along the way, they meet various colorful NPCs and recruit Monoko, who is a friendly but kinda bloodthirsty philosopher and a fully playable character. He has a really cool
It looks interesting for sure.
the enemies he defeats.
What are you doing?
I always appreciate when a game doesn't spoon feed you the story and they don't treat you like an infant.
He's very, very old and has seen many
with the story. You know, you need to think this at this moment.
which are a group of playful beings who view battle
You know, there are
from
too
a
many
distance.
games out there that
They're fun and sort of ridiculous.
give you the answers to the test, basically. They spoon feed you the whole way, and it
And of course,
cheapens the
there is
experience, in my opinion.
who is one of the oldest and lore-wise the most powerful creatures in the verse.
SK is that powerful?
Doesn't look like this game will do that.
To secret corners of the world. And if you bring him back his special stones, you can unlock abilities for him to access new areas of the world and find exciting secrets.
I'm strong, but I'm not that strong.
Everyone has their own reason for joining the expedition, and each of them has their own story arc and resolution that we think players will really connect with.
I'm
In
interested.
addition to a strong narrative, we had a clear vision for our own take on the genre's core gameplay.
Our reactive turn-based system takes the traditional turn-based battle mechanic we love and adds real-time reaction, which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism. During enemy turns, you can negate all damage by dodging or parrying at the right time.
Yeah, I think this is what we're seeing in modern turn-based RPGs. A mixture of turn-based and real-time action.
Players often found the real-time elements too hard. Some of us are still traumatized by enemies from back then. We've done a lot of rebalancing since, and with a lot of iteration, we ultimately came up with a formula that we're proud of.
So that's what we saw with Final Fantasy. That's what we saw with Metaphor ReFantasio last year. Just makes it more engaging.
That formula lies in the many ways you can customize your character. We spend a lot of time designing each character's unique mechanics and their custom skill trees. Our philosophy is making every type of playstyle viable so that everyone can have fun with how they play the game. Each character has a unique mechanic. Male switches between stances which can ultimately boost defense or power. I personally like to make Mel the protector of the group, but I'm pretty much the only one at the studio who plays her that way. Most people play her as a glass cannon with Gustav's complementary skills. The characters can also equip hundreds of passive effects, which in our game are called Lumina. Every character has more than 20 unique skills in their skill tree and hundreds of passive effects they can gain through Lumina and weapons. So there are a ton of builds and playstyle to explore. Needless to say, we can't wait to see how you choose to play and what kinds of build you'll design that we probably never even imagined.
Cool. Lots of ways to play, so they're not going to spoon feed us even on the combat. Not going to spoon feed us on the story or the combat. Lots of ways to play.
Fantasy world, and I
That's
was
good.
really excited to design something unique. Every level has its own color and texture identity. For example,
The level design
the
looks
village is
really
an early
cool.
area in the game where players can enjoy a fun break. We wanted something that feels chaotic, grungy, and toy-like. It's basically a bazaar. Everything's disorganized, chaos everywhere, huts are unsafe, built without much thought. It's a place where anyone could fight you at any point, which is pretty much what the Jestrels are like. The Jestral village is hidden inside the ancient sanctuary. The ideas here were forest, labyrinth, and sentinels. I designed it as a vibrant place, like an old graveyard of Jestrels, or forgotten wooden toys in a box, with two main colors, red and white.
Definitely a small team. You know, it's a small team whenever one of the designers says, "I designed it like this." You know, you just won't get that at like an Activision, for example, where they have multiple people designing the same level, or multiple people designing a small segment of the same level.
For SK, we needed a cuddly companion to take us around the world. I thought instantly of a giant inflatable balloon and old Victorian pillows with many intricate motifs. We start with the core themes and ideas, and the visuals grow organically from there.
From the very start of the project, there was one thing that we absolutely wanted to bring back from older JRPGs. A feature we really loved, but is very rare these days. A completely 3D and navigable world map. Yes, we've got a world map. And it was a real challenge to create, both artistically and technically. And it ended up a lot bigger than we expected. You'll definitely need SK's help traveling around. Here we go! We're super happy with the result, though, as there's a lot of side paths and entire hidden levels. If you want to fight the toughest bosses of the game, you will have to explore. Good luck.
We've poured our hearts and souls into this game for the past 4 years. That's why we're delighted to announce that Expedition 33
When's
launches
release?
on April 24th on
Okay.
Xbox Series X and S and is available day one with Xbox Game Pass.
Look at that.
You can already wishlist the game and follow us for more info.
424.
We are super excited to invite you
Day
to the world
one
of
Game
Expedition
Pass.
33. We are a small, passionate team. It's our debut game, and we can't wait for you to
Small,
discover our
passionate
story,
team.
our world, and our take on the turn-based genre.
Cool. Well, I won't get to play it because I don't have an Xbox, but I have a PlayStation. If it comes around, that'd be great. I'll play it whenever it comes around to, and I'll buy it whenever it comes around to PlayStation or PC.
Tomorrow comes.
Cool. Oh, look! PS5. It's coming out on PS5. Look at that. Oh, shoot. I guess in these recordings, they're saying, yeah, it's coming out on Game Pass, but most of these titles are actually coming out on PS5. That's funny. Okay. Well, cool. I'm going to be playing that whenever it comes out on PS5. Now, next, Doom. The one that I've been looking forward to. The iconic franchise. I played this whenever I was like the original, whenever I was like 6 or 7 years old on PC. This is going to be good.
A team of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever. And the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every
ID Software
installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on its tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
Hell yeah,
That was
let's
so
go.
Stupid, I mouthed the words.
Doom: The Dark Ages, ID Software. Let's go.
In Doom: The Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell.
Hell yeah, brother.
Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is
I'm down with that.
2016, and that's given us the
Prequel to
opportunity
Doom
reimagine
2016.
every aspect of this experience. So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series.
Okay.
And if you're a longtime fan,
That's
then you'll
me.
be proud to see, in a
That
lot
was
of
my
ways,
first Doom
the
game.
feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it
The
down,
OG.
starting with the combat. In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal. And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim
I don't know about you, but that gun doesn't look out of the Dark Ages. That.
But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw. Block. Throw. Parry. Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual.
I like that saw.
On a single button press. You know, we want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom: The Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight.
Stand and fight. LFG. Chop them up.
And the Shield Saw will give you the strength to go head-to-head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created it in. But that's not all. Because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How about an
See, I love games with a great parry mechanic.
maybe an electrified gauntlet? Or even a
So I think this is really gonna scratch my itch.
we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades. And it's
It's gonna be a shooter with a lot of melee. Like,
off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system.
glory kill.
Angle in and out as you see fit, and it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable, smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger.
That looks sick.
That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns, and Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created.
I can't wait to play this. This looks so fun.
Ancient, brutal torture machines built to...
And it's coming out on PS5, so I can get that nice shiny PlayStation Platinum trophy.
Only in Doom. That's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom: The Dark Ages.
So the parry with the shield looks like you can also charge. Charge with the shield. I don't know what the cooldown on it is. I'm trying to look somewhere on the screen to find it, if there is one. My only concern is that, like, is it gonna feel fluid or is it gonna feel clunky? Like, I can't really decide that, and I can't tell based on this gameplay footage.
Time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and challenge of the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
So that's nice.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer.
If it is feeling slow and clunky, you could always change the slider on it.
Pilot your very own 30-story Atlas, which is a mech. It's the size of a building.
Oh fuck.
Powerful, and you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, we also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The power fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom.
It doesn't look too Dark Ages in some scenes, but hey, I'm here for it.
Dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields.
I'm here for it either way.
And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way.
Godlike.
Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. Explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game, discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game, where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches.
Sweet.
Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates, because the battle isn't over yet.
So that'll be a fun game mode. I'll have to do some more digging on it, on what all it entails, but I'm going to be covering... I'm going to do a recap video that's not just the live reaction. I'll do that and put it out either tomorrow or Saturday.
Award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom the Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer
I like the music.
at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easy to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
But that is for
id,
you.
not ID.
Doom the Dark Ages releases.
So, my bad. May 2025, cool. it's id software, not ID. I feel like an idiot. Cool. All right. There it is. Doom the Dark Ages coming in May. That'll give me plenty of time to get through some other stuff.
I cannot move.
Let's hang around just for a couple seconds in case May 15th. Okay. Yeah, they might announce something else.
All of Azel's powers are designed around textile crafting and spinning wheels. The combat system is built around chaining attacks and unraveling enemies.
Our reactive turn-based system has real-time reaction, which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism.
忍具やシリーズおなじみの体術など忍者アクションを駆使して乗り越えていくことになります。
皆様に進化した忍者ガイデンを触っていただける日を楽しみにしています。
Thank you for watching. All right, everybody, we're gonna close that out, and then we're gonna pause this. All right, cool. Well, that's everything. I'm gonna put out a summary and a recap of everything that happened in the Developer Direct. That video should be out either tomorrow or Saturday. And yeah, we'll do a recap of that. I'm really looking forward to Doom the Dark Ages. I'm not sure if I'll play through South of Midnight. I might play through Ninja Gaiden 2 Black while we're waiting on Ninja Gaiden 4. Expedition 33 does look interesting, and I know it's coming out on PS5 as well, so I might give that a look at the very least. But yeah, if you were here, then be sure to let me know what you think about the what we have coming up from the Xbox Developer Direct. I have to get back to work. You have to get back to work. But until next time, I'll see you 5 to 9.